so that's the Subhumans with the PC titled Fuck You. And actually, I kind of know now what it's like to be on stage when music's playing and everybody's watching. Usually I only do that when I've got a triangle. So, all these songs that they're singing are politically charged, and they came out of a punk scene in Vancouver that had other bands that were doing this too. It's kind of a music community, if you will. I'm not trying to be profound again, but there were a lot of people doing this stuff. Has anybody heard of the band called DOA? Yeah, they're pretty good, eh?
No, they're not.
Actually, when I was starting my innovative research for this degree, I started by going to see DOA, open for Rancid. And you should have seen me in the mosh pit just sitting there like this, thinking about it, taking it all in. But actually, some of the people that were in the Subhumans joined up with DOA after they kind of, there's a couple of them. They grew up with Jerry Hanna, or Jerry Useless, and they went their separate ways. A couple of them joined DOA. And when Jerry Useless gets arrested for all of these actions against those groups we were talking about, the music community got behind them. DOA wrote this song called Trial by Media. Notice the part in red. The song is about the Vancouver Five or the Squamish Five, or direct action, getting kind of screwed by the media. Okay, so I'm being less than innovative, but I've got direct quotes, so I don't want to get it wrong. There's a music magazine in Seattle at the time called The Rockets, and they interviewed the members of DOA and asked them what they thought about what's happening to the Vancouver Five. And they first told the interviewer that it really sucks. We grew up with Jerry Useless, we know these guys. They've always been active in the punk community and the political community, doing all these great things to try and engage people on these issues, like Ronald Reagan flying on a bullet and such. But further to that, DOA said, these people, guilty or not, represent the class struggle that's going on in the world. And they represent the side that stands for life and the future of everybody. The question should not be, why are we supporting them? It should be, why isn't everybody else in the world behind them? And then they went on to say that what's really interesting is the issues they brought out. It's not really important whether or not they're guilty. And finally, in relation to the trial specifically, DOA conveyed that it seems like a complete mockery of justice to be tried by your accusers. They're being tried by the very state that their crimes were committed against. It's a no-win situation. The state is trying to make it look like the judicial system is objective, but it's complete bullshit. So, the wider punk community, DOA really stands out in that group. They really had a problem with it. And also, next slide, it wasn't just musicians. This was part of a whole counterculture that was happening in Vancouver and elsewhere. They were really engaged on these issues and trying to provide solidarity, that's a word, right? For the Five. And they would have rallies like this. I was on a research trip at the Olympics, and I nipped over to Victoria and went to the archive there, and I found this. It's a poster for a rally that was happening on April 30th of 1983 to provide defense funds for the people that were being charged, so the Five. You'll notice that it wasn't just music, but all these different political issues were coming up as well. So, what does that show? It shows the bigger picture of the counterculture and all this other stuff that was happening. The music is sort of like a point where you look at the music and you can see what else is going on. There's all kinds of stuff happening. It's great. And not only in Vancouver, because next slide, please. Actually, I heard about the Vancouver Five and direct action, the Squamish Five. When I was in Seattle doing research, I'd just been to 2 Pearl Jam concerts, and I stumbled into the library, and I found this, surprisingly. And it's Canada Clamps Down, Incorrect Thoughts, which is the name of the first album from the Subhumans, the Vancouver Five on trial. And it's really funny that the border between America and Canada wasn't stopping the transmission of ideas, this political engagement that was going on. A lot of people under the covers felt this way about stuff. In the Reagan era, or I guess the Mulrooney era here, or whatever. There's all kinds of other stuff happening, and it was happening across the border between all the different punk scenes. Basically, a lot of stuff was happening that would allow me to do hand movements like this. Next slide, please. So, this was on the back of the flyer. I guess this is sort of my conclusion. See if I can really make things profound without having to read something. In conclusion, direct action, the punk scene in Vancouver, the wider political community in Vancouver, and their connection with other parts of the, I guess, San Francisco, the Dead Kennedys, they did defense fundraisers. It was happening all over North America, trying to raise awareness. It really shows the solidarity of the counterculture. They may not have agreed with the extreme measures that direct action was taking, but they were willing to support them because they believed in the same thing. And that really goes like, when somebody writes a song that says, you know, fuck you, rising against authority, direct action actually did. It's debatable over, you know, were they right? Even the people in direct action, if we talk to them now, it's a bit debatable. But the point is, it was political, it was underground, and music was kind of the center of what was happening. It brought everybody into the fold, and without music, it probably could have engaged like it did. I guess that's it.